Andy, you can explain why you're not at Westminster or Downing Street, but why you are in Cambridge tonight.
Yes, Dan, people might not think this is the most obvious place to be talking about migration, but the fact is that Cambridge has one of the highest proportions of immigrant residents in the country. Something like 30% of people living here originally came from overseas, and that went up 10% in the last 10 years. So I think that goes to show that behind the story of migration, there are an awful lot of factors, and there are an awful lot of factors as well behind today's number.
Think of Cambridge and you probably think of students, and there are plenty of them in this town, not just at the famous university. And students and their families make up around a third of today's net migration figure. In the market square, we found Gabriel, Tomasz and Ram. All came to the UK as students and are now working here. The government's already said it wants to make it much harder for students to bring family members into the country. So what do they think of that?
Doing a PhD is quite hard, and it would be even harder if one couldn't bring their family with them.
I studied at Imperial College in London, and for a fact there's less and less applicants from the EU after Brexit, and now with all of those restrictions it seems like it might be even worse.
I think we shouldn't just look at the number and say, oh, we need to do something about it. No. I think we need to look at the whole picture.
Another part of that picture, refugees, especially those arriving on special visa schemes from Hong Kong and Ukraine. Alina and her daughter Pauline arrived here from Ukraine last year. They're very grateful to have found a home, but they do hope to go back if they can.
We are waiting for this war to finish, and then we will decide. But I think that we will go to Ukraine, because we miss it really much, but it also depends on the situation in Russia, because they will always be near.
This morning, the Prime Minister said he was still committed to reducing the net migration number.
My commitment is to bring numbers down, right? And the measures that we've put in place this week are significant. They will bring the numbers down over time. That's what I want to do. We're looking at other things as well, and we'll keep looking at it.
That has been the promise since 2010. Is it still what voters want? Back in Cambridge Market, the answer, broadly, yes.
I do feel that they're going to have to stop at some point.
Yeah, but reduce the numbers a bit.
I know we need
people to do these jobs.
We do.
So if they're not training people here to do
That's it. And why aren't they training people here?
I think that's a bit high, yeah, to be fair.
Government says they want to bring it down. Do you think they're right to be trying that?
Hopefully, yeah. Should come from down half, 50% of that down, yeah.
My husband is part Polish, part English. My mom is Spanish, Filipino, Chinese, and my dad's from Newcastle, so...
I think it should come down, and it should be based on what this country needs in terms of migrants with the skills, where we have a shortfall.
In this ancient place, a very current question on migration then. How to keep the best of the old while making the most of the new. Andy Bell, 5 News, Cambridge.